Hi, my name is Robert Holden. Thank you so much for joining me for my first 3 videos on the purpose of happiness, the blocks to happiness, and also the myths of happiness. In this video, I want to share with you 3 major fears of happiness that hold so many of us back. I'm also going to share with you 1 big key to happiness that all happy people know and practice. And I also have some news for you about my new 8-week online happiness program, which is coming soon. Over the last 20 years, I've run an 8-week happiness program, scientifically proven by independent scientists who describe the program as a genuine fast track to happiness that not only changes the way you feel, but actually changes the way your brain functions. Now, on that program, we look at all of the ways that we stop ourselves from following our joy and living a life that we truly love. In particular, we look at the fears of happiness. I'd like to share with you now 3 major fears of happiness. Fear number 1, the fear that happiness is somewhere else. This is the fear that causes us to search for happiness. The more identified we are with the search for happiness, the more we live in the not now. And also the more we experience the fear that's sometimes referred to as FOMO, F-O-M-O, the fear of missing out. You know, the more we search for happiness, the more we become convinced that the grass is greener somewhere else. But the whole point about the green grass theory is that the grass is greenest wherever you water it the most. Get it? Fear number 2, happiness is selfish. Growing up, were you ever cautioned about being too happy and that maybe your happiness was somehow selfish? You know, for a lot of us, we carry this fear that happiness is selfish. And yet I'd have to say, for me, this fear is a theoretical fear. In other words, it isn't really true. I've done a lot of research about this fear. I've asked hundreds of people over the years to really examine this fear in detail. This is how I do it. I ask people to name 3 mostly happy people in their life and also 3 mostly unhappy people in their life. I then ask them to judge which of these people are mostly selfish, which means that they're not really interested in anybody else's happiness, they're only concerned with their own. And also, which of these people are unselfish? In other words, they really are interested and concerned about everybody else's happiness. And the research shows me that 85% of the people who are judged mostly happy demonstrate a natural, loving, consistent interest in everybody else's happiness. And I honestly believe that just makes sense, doesn't it? Because I think happiness fundamentally is love-based. Indeed, there's a lot of research which shows that happiness and altruism really do go hand in hand. The happier you are, the more you want to share it. And for this reason, I honestly believe that happiness is not selfish. On the contrary, I think happiness helps you to be a more selfless, a more generous, and a more loving person along the way. Happiness and love, they're like twins. They work off each other. They're essentially the same thing, I believe. Fear number 3, the fear of too much happiness. Most people have an upper limit around how much happiness is okay and how much happiness is too good to be true. One of my favorite workshops that I run from time to time is called How to Be So Happy You Almost Feel Guilty But Not Quite. And in this workshop, we look at the underlying fear here, which is the fear that you have to deserve happiness. If you believe you have to deserve happiness, then you will tell yourself somehow that you have to earn it, work for it, struggle for it, sacrifice for it, suffer for it in some way. And this causes us to unconsciously limit our happiness and even sabotage our happiness. Essentially, we're afraid that if we're too happy, we will get a visit from the karma police who are going to tell us that it's time to pay for our happiness. The truth is, however, that happiness is a thoroughly non-deserving issue. Happiness isn't something you deserve, happiness is something you accept. Happiness is a quality of your true nature, and for that reason, It's something that you tap into. You don't pay for it, you choose it. So now let's talk about the one big key to happiness that all happy people know and practice. You know, there's been years and years of research on what is it that makes people happy? What is that magic ingredient? Is it the job? Is it the circumstances of their life? Is it the house? Is it the relationship? Is it the money? Well, here's what I've learned. Here's what I've seen. The happiest people on the planet are not the people who have the most. They're the people who have learned to enjoy their life the most. You see, they're not waiting to be happy. They're not waiting for life to get better. They're not searching for happiness. They're enjoying this moment. Enjoyment is a quality you bring to the circumstances of your life. Happiness isn't in the circumstances because technically nothing really makes you happy. Everything can encourage you to be happy, but it can't make you happy. You have to do something too. If you're going to live a life you love and follow your joy, then you have to enjoy the life you're living now. Now, on that note, let's do an inquiry. This is an inquiry based on a sentence completion exercise. You're going to need a pen and paper. We're going to do it in real time. So here goes. I'd like you to complete this sentence 3 times. Number 1. One way I could make today even more enjoyable is... Fill in the blank, take a nice deep breath. Are you ready? Number 2. Another way that I could make this normal day even more enjoyable than I thought it was going to be is... And number 3. Another way that I could make today even more enjoyable than I thought it was going to be is... And now you're beginning to create a list. Now you're on your way. Now you can make today enjoyable because you're showing up. You're in your day. You're bringing your imagination, your creativity, your love to the day. And that's what makes our life enjoyable. So I hope you enjoy the exercise. It's one of my favorites. I come back to this one over and over again when I want to reset myself and remember that happiness isn't a search, it's a way of traveling. Okay, I have some really good news for you. I'm super excited about this. Together with Hay House, we are publishing the 8-week happiness program online. This really is a program that has been 20 years in the making. This program will help you to release the power of happiness in you. It will help you to tap into that real happiness that stops you searching for happiness, but actually helps you to follow your joy and live a life you love. This program is for you. It's designed to help you to bloom, to step into your life more fully and be the person that you've truly come here to be. Over the 8 weeks, you will receive 40 coaching videos, 1 a day, 5 days a week, with weekends off. Each video is 10 minutes long, approximately, and it features a lesson with meditations, exercises, and affirmations on happiness. 32 of the coaching videos are presented by me, and some of the subjects that we'll cover are letting go of the struggle, goodbye to guilt, more fun per day, the receiving meditation, one of my favorites, milking the sacred now, choosing happiness, finding the present, and the gift of happiness. Now, the other 8 coaching videos feature interviews with some wonderful, wonderful guests. And the guests are Louise Hay, Cheryl Richardson, Marianne Williamson, my mentor, Tom Carpenter, Mike Dooley, Angel Whisperer Kyle Gray, the wonderful Alia Kudrow, and Dr. David Hamilton. And after that, there are bonuses. And one of the bonuses includes a feature-length interview with Tom Carpenter on the relationship between happiness and forgiveness. I'm so excited to be able to present this program to you now. You know, after 20 years of working in this field, on really meditating on true happiness, I feel I have something for you that offers great depth and great value. I'm super excited to be working with Hay House because I know that Hay House has the technology, the experience and the service to be able to offer you something that is truly life-changing. You know, I feel that more than ever before, the human race needs to learn a psychology of happiness. As a human race, we've learned so much, but really we haven't learned how to be happy, and in particular, how to be happy together. I believe that your happiness serves humanity, that your happiness ultimately helps the world to be a happier place. It starts with you. I also believe that people who learn to follow their joy and to live a life of purpose really are the Renaissance workers on this planet. Your healing and your happiness are a gift to the world. They are a gift to your family, to your children, to your partner, to your friends, to your colleagues, and everyone. A happier world starts with you. I honestly believe we're all here not to search for happiness, but to follow our joy. And in following our joy, our life becomes a gift to everybody that we encounter and for the whole wide world. Now is the time for you to live a life you love. Now is the time for all of us to help this world evolve in the direction of love. And we do that by following our joy and by choosing happiness.